Hello there. Hi. Assalamu alaikum. This is Amna here from My English Matters. And I am one of the creators of My English Matters, where we help Malaysians and second language learners improve their English through our online courses, membership programs, and workshops. So today I am with Madam Azimah, who is also one of the creators of My English Matters. And we are going to talk about what to do right before a big presentation. But before that, let me say hello, Madam Azimah. Please introduce yourself.
Right. Hi, Amna. I'm so happy to be here. I want to talk about my favorite topic, which is all about getting ready for a presentation. So I can't wait to share with you 5 tips.
All right, great. This is a topic that we had been discussing for quite some time already. We said that, wouldn't it be fun if we talked about the things that we do right before a big presentation? So it's not like 1 week before a presentation, it's not like 1 day before a presentation, but what do you do within that hour before your presentation, right? So I asked you, Madam Azimah, to come up with your 5 big tips that you can share with our audience on what they should do when they need to do a big presentation. So it could be a presentation for work, it could be a presentation for, like maybe they have to give a speech at a wedding or something like that. It could be online or it could even be live. So these tips can be applied to both situations, right? So, what is your first tip, Madam Azma?
Okay. All right. So this is I want to imagine that this is 1 hour before your major presentation. So I'll relate it to my experience as well as a person who needs to do a lot of presentations, especially online. So my first tip is, of course, to run through my slides. Now, this is for those of you who do need to prepare slides. So running through your slides from slide 1 up to slide whatever 50, 100, but you have to run through that because you need to check for technical errors, especially if you're using things like what I use, which is I use like a clicker like this, right? So I use a clicker, so I need to check that the battery's working, and then if I click it's not making too much sound or whatever it is I need to do. So running through my slides and my props as well. For example, my pen is there, I've got ink, I've got my notes, I've got my handphone as well charged. Okay, now coming back to running through my slides, it's all about the technical errors and typos and slide transitions, right? So that's really important, as well as the slide order. So because slide order, sometimes you feel like, oh my god, why is this here? It should be slide number 2, but it's moved to slide 10 or whatever. So that those are the important things. For me, if I need to check for typos and errors, I would have someone to help me see my the spelling errors that I tend to make sometimes on my slides because you can't see, you're fatigued. So I have Aisha actually to help me do that. To just Aisha, can you help me run through the proofreading and editing and stuff like that? So that's tip number
So,
one.
actually, you do this within that 1 hour before the big presentation.
I actually do that as well because when I do yes I will still run through. Mm-mm.
All right, because I want to share something. I actually do all of that. Not within that 1 hour presentation, not within that 1 hour before the presentation. I do that like 2 hours, 3 hours before it. So I'm a bit more that for me. I do all that before that 1 hour. So that 1 hour for me is when I'm doing other things. But we'll talk about that.
Mm.
So it's great that you highlighted about rehearsing because I know some people don't even rehearse their slides. So
Yeah.
that's really important. I always rehearse as well, but I do that before that 1 hour as well. Right. So
Yeah.
what
So
is yeah.
it's a question of what kind of person are you? Are you a person who runs on adrenaline like me? I like to do a lot of things. No, I don't want to say last minute, but I kind of go crazy in that sense because sometimes I work better like that sometimes. But it really depends. If it's a really difficult presentation, I would have done it 2, 3 hours before, a day before, like what Amna
Mhm.
said. So I wouldn't recommend this if you're that person who tends to make a lot of mistakes at the last minute. So don't do that.
Yeah.
Okay, meaning
All
don't do
right.
things at the last minute. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, so don't do things at the last minute if you
Yeah.
can. If I'm a bit more, I get panicked within that last hour. So my last hour before presentation, I am a bit more relaxed, getting myself in the zone. I've done all the rehearsing part. So usually during that 1 hour, I'm a bit more relaxed than you are because you say that you
Mm,
do rehearsing within that 1 hour. But
yeah.
whatever it is, whatever the type of person that you are, make sure you do that rehearsal part because
Yes.
I've never I've never regretted rehearsing, but I've there are times when I have regretted not rehearsing. So it's always best to just rehearse.
Yes, that's right. Okay. Tip number two, again, this is for me actually. I still do my rehearsal, like Amna said. I speak the points out loud in English. Now, if you've already done this 2, 3 hours before, a day before, that's fine. But for me, I still need to run through, especially because when you start to read out loud, it's all about checking that I know everything, and secondly, my pronunciation of some technical terms is correct, because sometimes, you know, some words throw you off. When you typed it, it looks great, you think you know, but then you have to check the dictionary, whatever it is. Okay, so that's what I do, rehearsing out loud. And so the flow, I have to know the transition, yep, and all of that. Okay.
Yeah, can I just add something about rehearsing out loud? So when we say rehearse, we don't mean just going through your slides. We mean actually rehearsing it out loud. That's what I do personally. Because sometimes when you're creating the slides and then, it sounds really great, but when you're rehearsing it, when you're saying it out loud, you're realizing, oh, is this really important? Or sometimes like, uh, does this point even make sense? Does it even fit here? That is
Mm,
when you're rehearsing it out loud, that's when you realize, this point doesn't go here. Maybe this point goes later on in the presentation, or it should not even be there in the first place. Or maybe you think, will people understand what I'm saying? Or do I even understand what this point means? So when you're saying it out loud, you have like two versions of yourself. You have that version of you presenting and that version of you who's questioning everything that you're presenting. So I think that's great to do, to rehearse out loud so that you can see your presentation as an audience member.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's important as well. It's not just the last minute the rehearsal, but the whole thing is, the whole idea is for you to know the flow. Really, that is the most important thing that you need to memorize, which is the flow. You have your intro, is clearly there, the middle, and then the end. And sometimes when you rehearse out loud, that's when you know that the middle, for example, is too long, or the middle is just too heavy with facts. There's no break in between. Maybe you need to add something. And maybe there's a time there where it will cause the audience to be fatigued, quite tired, listening to you speak. So, what can you do? So, I get those kind of ideas ru- down to the last minute sometimes, my ideas. That's the type of person I am.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you're rehearsing out loud, you also realize that as a presenter, sometimes when I have to do a presentation and I'm rehearsing, I'm like thinking, oh my god, I feel tired presenting this part. So if I'm feeling tired, then maybe the audience will feel even more tired because they're not familiar with the content. So
Yes.
when I'm rehearsing, that's when I think, okay, this is the part where I share a funny story or I share, an anecdote that can keep people engaged or awake. So yeah, that's important as well.
Exactly. Or maybe this part is when you do a bit of demonstration, there's a bit of movement, there's a bit of volunteering. You ask the person a question, whatever. So you need that mental break, and you need to know where it is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh wait, I have this one question because people say like if they rehearse, they lose the spontaneity of the presentation. It's just not fun when it's rehearsed. What do you have to say about
Mhm.
that?
Well, it's not about rehearsing your lines. It's not about rehearsing what to say. It's not about being scripted. I know some people like to be scripted, but for me, the whole point of rehearsing is to know my flow. That is important. And then once I know my flow, I can then be flexible and creative on the spot, because I already know, oh, I can play around with this fact. I can take time here. I can take a breather here, pause here. So that's where the spontaneity comes, when you know what's going on.
Yeah, that's great. It's more about knowing the flow of your presentation, right?
Yes.
Okay. Right.
All
So
right.
let's move on. What's your next tip?
Okay. Tip number three. Now that I know I'm comfortable, then I would make myself comfortable. So and presentable, right? So as I said, I would check that my battery is fully charged, my laptop, my mic's working. I would check my camera position. So for those of you who you need to do online, you need to check your camera position. So I've had, seen students sometimes when they position their camera, they would put it like this. I'm going to do a bit of demonstration. So they would present like this. Hi, everybody.
Oh,
Hi.
okay.
Right? Have you seen that? Like when it's half, right? So we have to be
Yeah.
careful. People can see your face, right?
Maybe
And they
they
can
do that because they're not wearing lipstick or something.
perhaps, or probably there's a stain on their outfit. Perhaps we
Oh,
don't know.
yeah, that happened to you the other day, right? You had like a stain on your scarf,
Exactly.
and then you
Yes. I
pushed
had
your
to
camera
position.
back.
Exactly. So those things do happen, yeah, but don't you have to make sure that your camera, people can still see your face. So that's the most important thing. And
Yeah.
body language experts say that they need to be able to see your hands as well when present, if possible. Okay, so make sure
Yeah,
that camera
that's
angle is
great.
important. Okay. What else that I would make myself comfortable? So if you're in an air-conned room, if you need to wear socks, wear socks. If you need to, if I'm talking about, if you can control that, you can wear socks and shoes, whatever. If this is in your own house, posture. Now, posture is important as well. So check your posture. I would do that as well. I would have a mirror to just for me to check that I look okay. All right. So I remember Amna said that I once spilled a drink. Yeah. So I had to cover that. And what I did was I made the camera a bit higher. That's a bit weird.
It
Right.
didn't look
And then,
weird though. It didn't look weird, but it just looked a bit different from how you usually do your camera. But we could still see your face. That is the most important thing because you just didn't have time because it was live, so you didn't
yeah,
have time to go and change your scarf and anything like that. So yeah,
exactly.
it was still good.
Yeah. And oh yes, as for notes, do I have notes with me? So this depends on your style. For me, I write my notes on my phone here, as well as I've got a writing pad. I've got my pen, as I've mentioned before. I've got all of that in front of me, near me. That makes me feel comfortable. And sometimes I, on my phone, I put my copy of my slides as well, so I can refer to that.
Yeah. One thing about setting up is I also do that the 1 hour before the presentation. So I'm sitting down in front of my computer, turn my mic on. But the other day, I remember I was like trying to set up something. I think I wasn't happy with how my microphone was set up, and I was like 10 minutes to going live. And I was like changing things around, opening the screw, and I was like, "Oh my god, why
Mm,
am I doing this 10 minutes before the presentation?" And then the presentation started. Say this presentation was at 4 and at 3:50 and I was doing all this stuff that I wasn't supposed to be doing in the first place, right? It was fine the way it was. I was just not happy with it. So that's one thing you should not do is do something like 10 minutes before,
mm,
something different, because it's
yeah.
just going to get your head out of the game. And although the presentation was still okay, I just didn't feel like I was really in it because my mind was still thinking about, the screws in my microphone. It was already okay. I shouldn't have touched it. But yeah, so that's one thing that you should be aware of, not doing
Yeah.
any last minute strange things.
Because
Yeah.
you're gonna feel uncomfortable, and it's gonna distract you, and the audience might see that you look a bit distracted. So be careful with that. Okay.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, I wanted to also mention Wi-Fi as well, internet connection. So I've had a lot of problems with Wi-Fi before, but the show must go on. So you need to have a backup person if something happens. You should have already briefed your team member that if anything happens, just go on. I'll come and join you soon after that. You've stable and things like that. So make sure that people in the household know that you're using the Wi-Fi, so they're not watching things that that will take away the connection. So very very
Yeah.
important. Okay. So moving on to tip number 4. So I want to talk about mindset now. So I have several not phases, yeah, phases of mindset. So first, I want it to be fun and energetic. Okay. So what I do is I put on some epic music soundtrack that I have. It's not epic really, but whatever, dancing tunes, whatever that makes you feel energized. You need that, especially if it is in the afternoon when you know that it's going to be heavy with facts. You need to be energized. You're the presenter. You should be the one controlling your energy. So I would have a fun music on. And Amna, your favorite is Katy Perry's song, right? You like that.
Yes.
So
Okay,
we
I'm
used to
not
do
a
that a lot for
huge
work.
fan of Katy Perry. I mean, I like her music. I'm not like a huge fan of Katy Perry, but I like to listen to Katy Perry's music before I go live or for a presentation because there's this song Raw. Many of you may know that song. That
Yeah.
we turned on that song for one of our workshops that we did back in 2000. I think it was 2017. So that song kind of I have like a positive association with it, something that's energizing, that's fun. So I always turn that music on before a presentation. It kind of it's like like self-soothing kind of song for me because I know okay, this is where I'm going live, I'm going to be energetic, it's going to be fun. So it's good to have like one song that you go to, that you always use that song for a presentation because it gets you into that mood, into that zone. And I also have another song which is also Katy Perry, which is Firework. So I don't know
Mm-hmm.
why Firework comes on. Maybe it's because on YouTube, like after Raw finishes, they suggest me to listen to Firework. So it's those two songs that I listen to. Yeah, but
Mm-hmm.
if you don't like pop songs, find something else that works for you. Maybe it's
Mm-hmm.
like a ZK or
Yeah.
something that works for you for that situation where you have to present.
Yeah. So that I was talking about being energetic and fun, right? Feeling energetic and fun. My second one is to feel calm and to feel guided. So I was talking about zikir. That's the thing that I also do, which is to have my go-to doa. My prayers. I would always read Rabbi Shrahli. I would always do istighfar. I would do prayers to Allah basically to ask for guidance to help me. So that's important as well. And then when we're about to start, I do some more self-talk, positive self-talk. I would even announce sometimes, oh, I'm so nervous. I would sometimes announce I'm so nervous just to get it out there, just to name what I feel. But I don't let that control me. I know that it is part of the process, and I say nervousness is normal. It's normal to feel nervous. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be exciting. I'll say those sort of things to just make myself feel in control. And then I'll say, okay, let's have fun. Let's be flexible. Let's be creative. There's no such thing as perfection. And then okay. So that was
Yeah.
tip number 4. All right. So let's go to my last tip. I would get into my persona. So my persona is Madam Azima, which is the trainer that you see, the instructor that you see on My English Matters. So that's a persona that I have created, and she is a character, a persona that I become, and I've been her whenever you see me live and whenever I'm teaching. So Madam Azima is a person who has been doing this for many years, I think more than 10 years. And so this is a character I've created who is genuine, who's helpful, who's confident, who's caring, who's passionate. I'll have all these adjectives to describe this persona, and I become her. Okay.
It's kind
So
of like Lady Gaga, isn't it?
I don't
You
know
know Lady
how.
Gaga, she said that she has created this persona of Lady Gaga when she didn't feel when she wanted to be more confident, and then eventually she became Lady Gaga, right? So you're
Mm,
not Lady Gaga, you are Madam
mhm,
Azima. So
mhm.
it's more about creating a version of you that is your best version of yourself, and just stepping into it when it's required, right? I don't
Yes,
think it's
exactly.
like, I don't think it's about being fake. Some people will say like, oh, you're fake, you're not yourself. So how would you, reply to that?
It's not. It's about, like Amna said, being the best version of myself that is needed and that is helpful at that particular moment. So for me, being caring, being genuine, being passionate is are helpful characteristics at this particular time. So I need to remove any negative character or personality that I may have. So, for example, if you are nervous and shy, then I can't bring that when I'm teaching English. A teacher, I shouldn't bring that. Yeah, I can bring it my with my friends, whatever it is, but I can't bring that character. So I need to bring all the positive, inspiring persona or characteristics that will be helpful and will serve my audience. So I wouldn't call
Yeah.
it fake. Yeah,
Yeah.
being my best self, right?
Mm-mm. Yeah. It's like you're pushing yourself to go to that level. It's not about
Mm,
being fake. Still being you, but
yeah,
that
that,
that
my
version of you
best
that
self.
is, yeah, for that situation where it's needed.
Yeah,
All right.
exactly.
So are
Okay,
those your 5 tips?
those are my 5 tips. Okay.
Okay, wait, I have a few more tips that I want to share as well because I took some notes and this morning and I was like wanted to share them as well about what you should not do within that 1 hour before your presentation. So one of
Okay.
them is not to go through social media. I've made this mistake several times, like because I've rehearsed, I'm ready, it's going to be starting soon. And then suddenly I go into open one of my tabs and you look at Instagram, I look at Facebook, I'm thinking that I'll be happy. But I end up feeling, like I'm not focused after I do that. Sometimes somebody makes a comment or they share something in their news feed that's not so positive or something that's like shocking or whatever, and it has an effect on me and it has an effect on the presentation. So even if you think you're good, you're positive, you're happy, you're energized for the presentation, try not to look at social media because it's like you're opening up the doors to anything that will come to you. So you want to protect your energy by not looking at social media right before a presentation. You can do that afterwards, but try to protect that energy before you go live or before you do a presentation so that you are fully in the zone and not thinking about something that you saw, something like that was traumatizing or shocking or hurtful on social media, because you are not in control of what you see on social media like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and all that. So that is one thing you should not be doing.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then what you said about getting into the mindset, also that 1 hour, try to just consume content in English. So if your presentation is in English, try to consume content in English so that your mind is thinking in English and you can speak English fluently without trying to mix up two languages together. It's okay if your presentation you can speak Malay and English, but for me, I speak both Malay and English. So, but when I need to do a presentation, I do need to speak English 100% or at least 99%. So I try to just look at English speaking content and speak with my children in English. Yeah, just getting into the zone and getting into the mindset of speaking in English. Yeah, so those are just additional tips for you guys. I hope that's helpful. All right, do we have any last words or you want to summarize what your 5 points were?
Okay, so my first tip was about running through my slides and props. Number two was about speak the points out loud in English. Number three was to make myself comfortable, my venues comfortable. Number four was about mindset. And number five was get into my Madam Azimah persona.
All right. Okay. So that was great. Thank you so much for sharing. I loved those tips. And I know that you love teaching presentation skills. That's like one of your expertise among many of them. So thank you for joining us. I hope that you found this session helpful. Share this post. And if you have not yet signed up to our email list, just go to myenglishmatters.com/subscribe. Once you go there, you can sign up to our free training. It's called Speaking with Confidence. So once you join us, we will send you 7 tips via email. There will be videos. And then after the videos, you will be receiving our weekly emails every Thursday, right? So that's all from us for today. We hope to see you again next time. Bye for now. Bye for now, and assalamu alaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. Bye.